You are listening to Claret and Blue, an Aston Villa podcast brought to you by Birmingham Live.
The normal intros are back. No beret, no Corcat for us this week. Back to normal.
No beret and baguettes. And disappointed, mate. I really am.
Welcome back to the Claret and Blue podcast on the Aston Villa News Facebook page. We're only here for a quick one today, 15, 20 minutes or so, because I've had a very busy day and I know you have as well. But it's Premier League's back this Saturday for Aston Villa. This is the week of build-up begins, I guess. We've got a few podcasts planned for this week, and this is the first kind of mini episode. We did our big pre-season preview last Wednesday. That came out last Thursday, and in that there was a lot of talk about formations and players and managers and tactics and all these different things. Today I want to talk about the feeling. Let's get emotional about it. Let's get soppy about things. The feeling of football coming back. And there is a handy survey questionnaire that we're going to go through as well, which ties into that. Proper football's back. Pre-season's over now. Excited?
You asked me about the emotions when I was in Brisbane. I nearly cried on you. I nearly wept in the press box. How are you feeling? I'm taken aback. I can't believe it. Countdown's on now. Saturday, 3:00. It should be red up down Bournemouth. And I fancy Villa to do the business, getting rocking and rolling. And I fancy putting them to the sword. So a lot of excitement now. Pre-season's done. It's finished. Finished in Rennes on Saturday. And we're here, finally. And it's going to be a big season, A lot of excitement, anticipation. I can feel it now. I'm feeling good. Pretty optimistic about it from what I've seen over pre-season and how the squad's shaping up. And month to go until the window closes, as we know. But, I'm pretty happy, pretty content. And I think we can really upset the established order, as it were, and go at it full hammer, Yeah,
that'd be nice, wouldn't it? I mean, we talked in the section in that podcast last week about the top 6 of the Premier League and the bottom 3 of the Premier League, and I cut that out from the episode in the end because I felt it was a bit waffly away from Aston Villa, but we got it on record of where we think the league will finish, just in case one of us is right. I can't remember what any of us said about Bournemouth, though, about being towards the bottom, about whether they were in the bottom 3. I think most people suggest they're going to go down, but there was still that thought in the back of my mind that thinks it's a tough opening game because they'll kind of be well up for it. Newly promoted side is a classic banana skin, but since last week, as we get ever closer to that first game, I'm now starting to feel like, I think we might beat Bournemouth and beat them quite convincingly. I don't know whether that's just the blind optimism of a new season on the horizon, but Bournemouth look like they could be in a real mess.
I think Villa will be on a lot of people's accumulators this weekend. I really do. They'll be decent odds away from home. I think Bournemouth only signed 3 players. They made a signing today, Tavernier from Borough for about £14 million, and they haven't done much. I think
just 3 transfers before that, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, Scott Parker's already getting the excuses in as well. We haven't done enough this window. We're still short. So it's a chance for Villa to really stamp their authority on clubs like Bournemouth and pick up 3 points. Went to Watford last season, opening day, got burnt, and you think your McGinns and who involved that day would learn from that. Your Martinez's and listen, we need to quiet the crowd down. Don't let them get the towels up early on and take the sting out of it and get a goal and build on that. So I'm confident. I'm 3-0. I think it'd be quite easy. You can cut this clip on Monday, mate, when we lose. But I'm confident. I think a good time to play Bournemouth. They're not a really happy camp at the moment. Haven't done too much business, and Villa are in a good place. Unbeaten over pre-season. Signings are bedded in now, and I think we will beat them.
Yeah, Parker said we're 6 days out from the start of the Premier League. This was at the weekend. Yeah. And we're way short of where we need to be. Yeah. Ultimately, we need help. Not a happy camp. And I mean, like I just said earlier, I'm kind of doing the opposite of you here, building myself up to look right next week when Bournemouth do beat us 1-0 and we look silly for being overconfident. But, as we first thought, newly promoted side on the first day is a banana skin. I'm now looking at it thinking it's a very kind of favourable start, and it should be, as I've just said, 3 points, and then confidence of that goes into your first home game against Everton, who again, I said last week in our preview that I cut out that I think you and John tipped them to go down, and I still think they'll be all right. I'm not saying they're going to be good, but I don't think they'll actually drop. But you look at that and think that should be, again on paper, a 6-point start for Villa, and that's massive going into Palace then with a bit of confidence. I know I'm getting way carried away here, but it's not difficult to look at that and think Villa could, big capital C on that, could get 9 points from the first 3.
Momentum, I think the fixtures are kind on paper. On paper, I know. But if you win one, that's a habit then. You want to win the next one. And that's what Villa need to do this season, start backing up results with back-to-back wins. And beating some of the big boys as well. It's what I want to see. I want to see us improving our home form as well. That wasn't good enough last season, home form. There's a big crowd down Villa now every week, and they want to be entertained. They want to go home happy, and that needs to be the case this season. So I think we're right to be excited and a bit carried away, Dan. I really do, because Villa got the business done early. As Gerard said last week, I don't think a lot of people give Villa enough credit for doing that so early. And like you say, beating off Champions League clubs to sign the likes of Diego Carlos, who was very good at the weekend, and Kamara. So squad's good place. It's quite bloated, isn't it? As Gerard said, it's got a big squad at the moment, hence the amount of bounce games they've had. They played Fulham last week behind closed doors and stuff like that. So, but yeah, confident. Got to beat you. You got to beat the newly promoted side. I know it's tough. Really struggled against Brentford away last season and Watford, obviously. But yeah, confident. You got to be confident going into the opening day. Everyone is, and there's no excuse not to be.
Yeah, if you want to bridge the gap to be at a top half side and be pushing for Europe and 7th, 8th, 9th place, you don't want to be looking back to the start Villa have had here, and we're coming away with 3 points out of that first 9 or 4 points, and thinking you've possibly played two of the sides that are going to get relegated. And Crystal Palace, who you expect to be a mid-table side at best, possibly, you don't want to be coming out of that with anything less than 6 points, I guess, if you want to be pushing for those European places. Like the ruthless sides of West Ham or something like that of recent years, they put these sides to bed, get the points and move on, and that's what Villa have struggled to do at times. So as I said at the start of this little video, it's about a feeling, and as of Monday I'm feeling confident, I'm feeling excited and optimistic, because if you can't get optimistic at the thought of a new 38 game season, then when can you?
Exactly that, mate. Yeah, 100%. Not much disruption this summer as well compared to last. I think it's all settled. I know we had Michael Bill leaving and the assistant manager thing stuff, but on the whole, I think it's been quite a settled and good camp. I've been in Australia, I've been to Rennes, I've been around the group. We're getting good vibes from it as well. So, like you say, the feel is a good one. And yeah, win on Saturday. It's gonna roll again. Isn't it? Full house next week against Everton as well. Yeah, I'm feeling good, mate. And yeah, long may it continue.
Just talking about the home fixtures, you said there about you've got to have a better home record. Obviously, played 19 games at home. What would you say is a feasible or realistic target for wins at home? You want to win
at least half your home games, at least, don't you, Dan? I think that's your ballpark, isn't it? At least eight there. What was it last season?
9. 9 is half. No.
Nine.
Half, yeah.
But you want to win the majority of your home games and really challenge them who are in the top 4, top 5 and really worry them when they come here. I think we did that against Man City last season. Ran them close. First half against Tottenham, really good, and then that ended 4-0 as we know. So yeah, some more 90-minute performances at home and taking chances when you have them and seeing games out, which I think, given Villa improved the spine of the team with Kamara and Diego Carlos, that'll help massively. Make Villa Park a fortune this year. I think it was too easy to play against last season, hence the atmosphere. You was there, Dan, in the stands. It wasn't too good of an atmosphere, was it, at times last season? And hopefully we win some early games and get that momentum again. I think it can be quite an intimidating place for people to come. So I want that to be the case, and I'm sure Gerard does as well.
Yeah, I was trying to think of an answer myself then as you were talking through about how many wins I would like to go. I've got a season ticket. How many wins I would like to go and see Villa get next season at Villa Park. I kind of feel like maybe the other way around. How many games do I want to come away with having lost? And I'd like to not lose more than 3 or 4 maybe.
Yeah.
For that whole season at Villa Park. Maybe 10, 11 wins, 4 or 5 draws. 3 losses, if that makes 19. I think it does. You're obviously going to have a couple of big games that are going to be difficult. Liverpool, Man City. You're going to lose the odd game. You expect to have won a home game against a lesser side that come and sneak something. But I think if you can win 10 or 12 and draw 3 or 4, that's a good home record for the majority of the season, a good foundation.
Only 5 other teams in the Prem last season, Dan, had a worse record than Villa at home. They only won 6 of the 19. That's not good enough. And look at someone like Leicester last season. Leicester didn't have a good season by any means, but home form, won 10, drew 4, lost 5, winning 10 and 19.
There you go. That's about right.
That's about right, isn't it? So, and in the home table, they were 7th. So you're going to be knocking on them doors. Obviously, Leicester's away form let them down. So hopefully, yeah, we get to double figures for home wins. That's what you want.
What about a predicted 11 for next week? I'm going to ask you, even though I already know it, because I've prepared a graphic. So I'll put it up on screen and you talk us through it.
So Martinez, starter, and then I'll run through the back 4 in a minute. Matty Cash, he'll be nailed on starter. So will Luca Dina, and so will Diego Carlos, from what I've seen at the weekend as well. I was on the flight back from Paris yesterday, and Diego Carlos was on the flight. Was stuck on the ground for about half an hour on Birmingham Airport. So, but yeah, hopefully he's okay for next week. He played really well against Rennes. And who will partner him, Dan? Mings, Concert or Chambers? I think Chambers, from what I've seen, is ahead of them at the moment, ahead of them three. Bit of a reality facing Tyrone Mings this season for the first time in his Villa career. He's not a nailed-on starter now, where he was previously, wasn't he? Ever since he come through the door, Mings, I think he won the first names on the team sheet. That's no longer the case now. Hence, the captaincy changed last week. So, as things stand, I think Mings might be on the bench at the weekend. I think Chambers has done enough to just edge out Concert for me. So, like you said, I'd be happy with anyone coming into partner Diego Carlos at the back. Midfield, I've gone for McGinn, Kamara, and then, like we've chatted before, there's a shirt up for grabs there for me. Probably Jacob Ramsey just edges it, given his form last season, but he hasn't showed that form in pre-season, so we'll see. But I think Ramsey just ahead of Douglas and Sanson for now. And up front, I think he might go for a forward line, a three-man forward line. Leon Bailey has to start, said that, keep saying it. He's a man in form. Just every time he gets the ball, he looks to do something. Looks confident on the ball. You can see his body language. His ears prick up when he's got someone one-on-one. So he needs to start on the right-hand side. Left-hand side, I think Coutinho's a bit of a favourite for Gerrard, isn't he? Ahead of Buendia. I think that's the case. I know people are banging on to start Buendia. I'd like to see him start as well. Can the pair of them start in a bit of a different system? And I want to see Buendia as an 8 in the season. Can that happen? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
He's busy enough to do that job. He'll have protection in there with Kamara and McGinn. So why not? Give him the shackles in them a bit deeper. And he picks up the ball really deep at times anyway, Buendia. Too deep at times. So that could be an option.
I mean, that's not a bad shout for the opening day, to be fair. If we're talking about Louise maybe not doing much and Ramsey not having a great pre-season either. Yeah. Buendia has looked all right in pre-season, the moments he's got, but we're struggling to fit him in. I mean, it would have been, Buendia played off the right, and if for Norwich, it would have been fair to say that Coutinho on the left, Buendia on the right, but Bailey's emergence in pre-season makes him a guaranteed starter now. So Buendia, McGinn and Kamara as a 3 away from home on the opening day when you're expected to go and win. Well, it's not out of the realm as a possibility that could be an option.
No, not at all. I think he's got a bit more about him in that midfield area, Buendia, than a Coutinho. I think we've seen Coutinho play in that role against one of the Australian games.
Brisbane Roar, wasn't it, I think?
Brisbane Roar. So Gerrard has toyed with that, dropping Coutinho back a bit. But I think Buendia's more suited. I think he gets around the pitch, a bit more work rate to his game than Coutinho has. And Coutinho could do his damage from the left-hand side, a bit more space for him to work with the front man. So, 4-3. So with Bailey, I think Coutinho's just ahead of Buendia based on Gerrard's preference at the moment. And up front in attack, probably Watkins, just edging it. But there's a debate to be had there. Ings, should he start the weekend? From the preferences, from what I've seen, I think Gerrard is liking Watkins at the moment. Something that I'll ask Gerrard about this week on Friday at the presser about his striking department. Big talking point and from pre-season, massive talking point.
Let's run through this server, then I'm going to flash it up on screen from time to time. If I press the right button, I've also put a link in the comments so you can go and fill it out yourself. I'm not going to go through and fill all these out, but the format is basically a quick question. A 0 means something bad, 100 means good. So we'll answer these very quickly. I think there's 6, so Ash, I'll give you your answers and fill it in. What is your happiness level with the club overall? 0 is absolutely devastated, and 100 couldn't be happier.
Probably about 80 out of 100, 8 out of 10 at the moment, if not more. I'm always optimistic as a Villa writer. I think he helps to be. From what I've seen in the summer, Dan, there's a real good feel-good factor. I know people want more transfers in, bit more strengthening, but from the group as a whole and the business they got done, I'm quite happy with how things are moving forward now. Gerrard's first full season this season. New Villa Park development in the spring. Christian Perslow speaking well over pre-season. Really targeting European qualification this year or next. A couple of cups to go for. We haven't had the draws yet, but a couple of cups to go for. The academy signings they're making waves in that again as well this summer. The academy lads in the first team, your Feeneys, your Kessler Haydens, your Ulrich Brunhams, they're really emerging. I'm happy. 80 out of 100, I reckon.
Yeah, fair enough. So there we go, 80 on that little bar chart. How do you approve of your club's ownership? 0, get them out of the club now. 100, club legends.
I might get the whole hog here, 100. What do you reckon?
Really?
What more could they done?
So I approve the wording. I mean, this survey wasn't me, so the wording I've got problems with here. How much do you approve of the club's ownership? 100 out of 100. I agree with everything they've done. Club legends is the phrase I don't like there. I don't think you can be a club legend until you've won something. I'm
going 100, maybe a 95, and they make some improvements. Don't know, to the press lounge, food or something. But listen, they saved the Villa from oblivion. Remember, Dan?
Yeah, of course.
2018, Dr. Tony's here, gambled everything. We could have been gone. And the amount of money they spent on transfers as well. I know they needed to do it in promotion year, and a lot of them players have moved on now. But what is it, 400, 500 million on players? It's approaching that. The back in the managers, the back to Smith, the back to Gerrard. I'm more than happy with the owners, but I don't know what more people want.
Yeah, I totally agree. I just can't call them club legends because they haven't won anything. That's literally my only credence with that wording. Next question. What level of ambition do you believe your club shows? 0, no ambition whatsoever. 100, we couldn't show any more.
Ooh, I'm gonna flip this one to you then. Go on.
I thought you might do that the way you answered that then. I think everything you just said there about the owners plowing in money, appointing Gerrard with kind of having a bit of a plan. Hopefully he'll be here for the long term. Stumping up the cash for transfers and stuff, and not kind of backing down and going, you know what, we've spent a lot of money, you've got to start delivering. They're still kind of giving Gerrard the money he needs and the players he thinks he needs. Whether they actually deliver anything with that. Football's a 90-minute game, isn't it? It's what happens on the pitch. So I think they've got ambition. We couldn't show any more though. I mean, you couldn't you? Because you could spend infinite amounts of money if you had infinite ambition. So I'd say similar to the question before, upper 90s.
They have shown a level of ambition. The transfer fees they've spent on players is pretty decent. Buendia last summer, nearly 40 million on him, club record. But they smashed the club record every season, apart from this season, obviously. Yeah, 80 onwards, I think. They've got to break that mould now. They've got to get into that little cluster now of the top 7, 8. Your West Hams have kicked on. Leicester's previously. Wolves have had a good season previously as well. They need to get into that little cluster of teams now and not really knock on the door. So there's more to do ambition-wise with the recruitment. I think we could get some more high-level players in. I think Gerrard said that. We can't stop now, given what they've done this summer. So more of the same, please. And, the ambition they're showing is on course to take us where we are. So, 75 upwards for me on that little chart.
Okay, all right. I'll put it at 95. Let's go in the middle then. Let's go 85. How happy are you with your club's approach to transfers? 0, they haven't done anything right. 100 equals perfect.
Getting them 2 deals done so soon after last season, then Kamara, Diego Carlos, was very good. Business on the whole. Last summer was an interesting one, wasn't it? With the Bailey, Ings and Buendia on the Grealish money. That was an interesting way to look at it with Perslow's speech of we've signed 3 players to replace Jack's qualities. That was an interesting way of doing things. Johan Langer, he's been here now for 2 seasons, 2020, he first joined. Yeah. So obviously he's big on stats and data. I'm quite pleased with how they're doing the business. The squad.
On paper, sorry to interrupt. I think on paper, the signings that they've made should have worked. So again, if led by a stats-based kind of program, if you like, Ings is a proven goal scorer. He should have scored more than 7 on paper. I think they probably would have expected more than that last year. They would have expected Bailey to do more and not have injury problems. Coutinho, Buendia, Kamara, Carlos, Cash, Martinez, Dean. They've transformed the spine of the squad really from your Harahan and Glenn Whelan of promotion and kind of people like that. We've moved on since then, haven't we? And then built that side to stay up. Moved on from that. Even now, have you Engels and people like that, Ali Samata. So there's been a few misses in there, but you can see the thinking behind the players that they have signed.
No, there seems to be a change in the guard now as well. You look at Tyrone Mings, for example. He's not a guaranteed starter now, so things are starting to change in that sense. Yeah, that 2020 summer, your Cash, your Watkins, that they previously didn't play Premier League football. They really worked. They've been great signings so far. Martinez was a great deal to do as well. That come out of the blue. A lot of people thinking Tom Heaton would stay as the number 1. No, we moved in to get Martinez for £20 million, and what a deal that's turned out to be. So they've got a lot right. But now, as Gerrard said last season, he wants to improve the age profile. He wants more international caps through the door, more Champions League appearances through the door now, and we'll take it to the next level. which he's doing with Kamara, Carlos. Augustinsson's played European football. Olsen's been around the block. Sweden's number one keeper. So he wants more experience, more people who've been there, got the T-shirt, and those that can dig in. So there's a change now again, like there was in the promotion year, with the players that shipped out, whatever. I think there's a change now happening. And like I say, it's an exciting time to be a Villa supporter. And Gerrard makes the effort to go to see these transfer targets. He has a real pull, as we know. He's got an aura about him. He's very convincing. So, yeah, I think Gerrard has a big say in that as well. So the approach transfers, I think, considering what other clubs have done, I think Villa have done very well, and it doesn't get spoken about enough, you know?
If I put 90, because I think it's very difficult. I mean, if you're talking numbers here, 90 is 9 out of 10, 90%. Right, I don't think there's such thing as 10 out of 10, perfect. I feel like last year there was conversations about, we were all talking about we need a defensive midfielder or number 6. So why can't the club see it? Why didn't they do it? Then this year, if we don't sign a number 8, I think there'll be the same conversations. How do people going, I feel like we still need a midfielder. Why aren't we signing one? So in terms of the club's approach, then you could have some questions of a 10% factor and go, they still look a bit short. Why aren't they making more signings? But I think for the most part, 90%, 9 out of 10, happy with what they're doing. How much trust do you place in the manager and coaching staff to deliver success this season? Or success for the club is the actual question. 0, sack them. 100, I don't know who's worded these. 0, sack them. 100, give them a 10-year contract. Now, again, I trust in Gerrard and the coaching staff, because I've said many times before, I trust in whoever's here at the moment.
Of course,
it's very rare that I will look at a manager that we've got and go, I don't think this is the right fit, because I'll go there as a fan every week and support them until they're no longer at the club anymore. So I can't sit here and go, I'd only trust them 50%. It's neither here nor there, I'm not quite sure. So as a fan, I want to go there and support them, and hopefully, as a fan, get them over the line to win matches and deliver success. On this voting thing, I can't put 10 out of 10 because I don't agree with give them a 10-year contract. So I think that's a silly phrase as well. So on this specifically, I would say 60, 70. Like, I trust them, I support them. 0, sack them. Obviously not. I think that's silly. But I back Gerrard. I agree with where things are going.
So as a fan, Dan, what have you made of Gerrard so far? Have you really warmed to him? Do you like what he says? Do you like his style he's coming out with in terms of how Villa are playing? As a fan, is your fan hat? You go down every week. Do you like this Gerrard Villa?
I like him. I like him as a character.
Yeah,
I think his mentality is good, and I think that breeds a good kind of environment in the training ground and stuff like that. The mentality and wanting to win and having good standards. I think that's all good principles for a football club to have. I have got some doubts about whether the football is correct in terms of tactical kind of things. Like, I look at somebody like Buendia and think, how is he not getting minutes? But then you think, well, Coutinho is Philippe Coutinho. Like, you almost got to play him to a certain extent. Okay. So there's some occasions where I think a change could be made or a tweak could be made. But I'm a fan sat on the sidelines. Like, what do I know? But ultimately, if the last season was just Gerrard's time, we'd have finished 9th, and that would have been our highest finish for 10 years. Yeah. So if this full season upcoming is our highest finish for 10 years, and we do finish 9th, 8th, 7th, obviously higher would be nice, and we go far in the cups as well, there's no reason to doubt Gerrard. I do think that the qualities I listed first of him as a character and as a person, I do think that's an important foundation for building an environment at a football club. Yeah,
a lot of trust for me. I get to speak to him on a regular basis, Dan, and I'm like you. The stuff he comes out with, and I feel what he's saying. I'm buying into it. I really am. I trust in what he says. So, yeah, he's got it all to do. The pressure's on, as it always is in the Villa Park hot seat. Dean Smith will tell you that, and managers previously will tell you that. So the pressure's on right from the word go. 70 is fair. I'll go with that.
How do you rate the atmosphere inside your club stadium on match day? 0, toxic. 100, best it's ever been. It's not 0. It's certainly not 100 either. I suppose we can answer this from 2 parts. We're both in the stadium every single weekend. You get to see more away games. Was that the question? Was it just at home? Yeah, it's just at home, to be fair. But you can give us some away influence as well, because obviously you'll go to every single game. You've been to pre-season as well, so you've seen Villa fans across the world even. You get to sit up in the press box, which isn't far away from our season ticket seats, to be fair, so we've got the same kind of atmosphere at home. I'm not in the Holt or anything like that.
Yeah.
I think it's good when it's good, which is a bit of a stupid thing to say.
Yeah,
if we're winning, it's good. It is good. When they come out, I think it's good. I think the initial kind of burst of energy is good. But if nothing really happens in the first 5 or 10 minutes, it's very easy to go, it's a bit quiet around here. Like, we need to kind of get something going. If you're losing, it's difficult. But it's that kind of chicken or egg thing, isn't it? Of the players on the pitch got to give something to make us support them, or do we have to support them to make the players on the pitch, kind of have the atmosphere to go? So, like I say, it's good when it's good, but it could certainly be better. And if I'm putting a number on it in terms of a percentage, 60?
I was going to say 50 down the middle.
Yeah.
I was. It's good when it's good, it's bad when it's bad, isn't it? I wouldn't say bad, I wouldn't say toxic as per that word there. It didn't get toxic at all last season. Even when we threw that Wolves result away. But yeah, like you say, when the players got something to feed off and vice versa, it can be a cauldron of noise and teams can wilt. But hopefully it's improved on a more consistent basis next season. And like I said, get the early goals. You can be bouncing, can't it? And you can get 1-2 and you're ahead. It's very good, like you say, but they really need to improve their home form, don't they? That's the bottom line.
When it's November and it's cold and it's a 5:30 kick-off and it's already dark and you're already 2-0 down against Brentford at home, it's very easy to sit there and go, this is rubbish, isn't it? Yeah. And you don't have that kind of desire in you to go and cheer on regardless. It's very easy to sit there and just say, you've got to support them no matter what. But when you're actually there, it is difficult. But like I say, if Villa win 10 games at home, you will see a better atmosphere. I think that's a good place to leave it. There was actually a comment on our YouTube page of the last episode we did after the Rennes game, where at the start I said, welcome back to the podcast. This will be a quite short episode. We'll see how things go. And we did like 25 minutes. And at the start of today, I said, we'll be here for 10 minutes. And it's now 37 minutes later. And why that happens? First of all, when you're at a stadium, and I'm working on a match day, I don't know how much time we're going to get before you get kicked out of a stadium or something. So I don't want to say, welcome back, let's chat about things. Then 5 minutes later, someone taps you on the shoulder and says, you need to leave. Because then we have to cut things short when it's live. When me and Matt are doing them, and we've just watched it on TV or whatever, we're not working on those days. We can go for as long as we like, so I don't say it then. And for these, it's still a working day, so I'm expecting maybe to get a message or an email to ask me to do something else. So I just want to kind of set the precedent and go, this might be a quick one just in case. Yeah. But no one's come for me, so here we are 40 minutes later.
There you go.
It was a good chat. I thought it was worth doing. As I said a few times, plug the podcast season preview. I'm going to play a quick clip of that now and put a link to the YouTube video in the comments. So if you want more chat from myself and Ash and Matt and John as well, then this is a taste of what you've got coming up.
Managers need time to build things. Gerrard's impressed me enough to give him a whole season. Since he came in, I think I'm not sure, the average position was pretty good.
It's 9th, I think.
Yeah, so there's expectation, but we got to back the manager, and I think that's what they'll do.
I don't know, do we? He's had his first summer now, so he came in November. It's always difficult. Yeah. Not your group of players. Yeah. And I thought he started really well, didn't he? Obviously inconsistent then, but now's the time. He's had a full pre-season, no excuses now. He's got players in, the board have backed him as well, and I think he's set up nicely. Being in Australia and coming back now, 10 days before the start of the season, I think he's in a nice place, and I think the foundations are there to really, really have a successful season.
I uploaded that as a random clip earlier, but it made sense because we talked about it earlier, so that was good. You've had a haircut since then?
I needed one, desperate hair, that trim there, Jesus. Who let me leave the house with that barnet?
I actually quite like the long hair, the little fringe bit at the front there, it looked all right.
I needed a trim.
But yeah, we'll call it a day there. Like I said, this is a short one, 40 minutes. Ash, thanks for your time as always. We'll continue building up to Bournemouth on the Claret Blue podcast. I think me and Pat are going to have a catch up possibly tomorrow actually, and then you and me, Ash, will do one after the presser on Friday lunchtime, early afternoon, something like that.
Yep.
And then it'll probably be you and me again on Saturday evening, live from the Vitality Stadium, when someone taps you on the shoulder and says, right, it's time to leave, and we'll do 5 minutes. But hopefully it'll be 5 minutes talking about Aston Villa winning the opening game. So everyone, thank you very much for tuning in. I've left the link to that survey that we've just talked about in the comments and in the YouTube description, so go and fill that in. That will help us out. And if you've not watched that hour-long season preview, you can go and do that too. Thank you very much, Ash. We'll see you again in a few days. Thank you for listening to Claret and Blue, an Aston Villa podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, then please do let us know. We love hearing your feedback. We'll be back soon with another episode, but until then, up the Villa.